All right, so we're going to start off with our customary measurement conversions. And in this video, we're just doing one-step conversions. So when we talk about doing a measurement conversion, what we mean by that is we can take a measurement and it can be converted to represent an equal amount with a different unit of measure. So what I mean by that is one of the most common ones that almost everyone knows is that when we have 1 foot, it's the same as 12 inches. So that right there is a conversion because I have different units of measures, feet and inches, but 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So our conversions are going to get a little bit more complex than just 1 foot to 12 inches, but our steps are going to be the same for every conversion that we do. So the first thing you want to do is what we call set up a best friend table. So that means when you read a problem, you're going to look for what are the 2 measurements that we are converting between, and we're going to set up a table. So I'm going to do a problem as we fill out our notes so you can see what we are referring to. So when I read this problem, this says, how many feet are in 16 yards? My 2 measurements that I am converting between are feet and yards. So I'm going to set up my table with feet on top, yards on the bottom. And I could switch them and put yards on top, feet on the bottom. That part really doesn't matter. But just because it gave me feet first, I'm going to keep feet first there. Okay. Now, the next thing, which we just did, is then we need to put our labels, feet and yards. Those are the 2 measurements that we are converting between. The first part of my table is I need to start with the conversion from my star chart. So if you are one of my kiddos, your star chart is loaded on Canvas, or if you're in class as always, I will always have them for you. You will get one of these on your star test. It won't be green. I just made ours green, but this is our star chart we are looking for. Or if you're one of my accelerated kids, y'all's are yellow, but the conversions are going to be the same. So I need to look at my star chart, and I am looking for the conversion from yards to feet. So I see that my star chart tells me that 1 yard, so I'm going to put a 1 next to the yard, is equal to 3 feet. So I'm going to put a 3 next to the feet. So then I'm going to fill in what is known from the question. So I know that I am looking for 16 yards. So I'm going to put a 16 in the yards part of my table. And then I'm going to solve for what I'm missing using a scale factor. So remember, scale factors are whatever we are multiplying or dividing by to go from one number to a next. There are 2 places that we can find a scale factor. We can always look within. So within is going from top to bottom. Or we can look between. And between is going from side to side. So the beautiful thing about conversions is a scale factor is always going to be obvious because you're always going to have a unit of 1 somewhere. So I see 1 yard. So I could use either scale factor. I could go from within and go from 1 to 3, or I could go between and go 1 to 16. I'm just going to go between because I got a little bit more room. So my scale factor to take me from 1 to 16 is times 16. Whatever scale factor I use on the bottom, I have to use on the top. So 3 times 16 would give me 48, and my units are feet. So there are 48 feet and 16 yards. Let's do our next one. How many pints are in 20 cups? So the 2 things, my best friends, are pints and cups. So let's set up our table with our labels. I have PT for pints, C for cups. I'm going to go to my star chart. When I look at my star chart, I see that I have 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. So I'm going to put a 1 in the pints, a 2 in the cups. What I know from my question is I am looking for 20 cups. So I'm going to put a 2 down here at the bottom with my cups. And then my scale factor, I'm going to go between again. 2 times 10 would give me 20. So what do I do to the bottom? I have to do to the top. So 1 times 10 would give me 10 pints. So there are 10 pints and 20 cups. Our next one says, how many gallons are in 96 quarts? So my best friends here are gallons and quarts. So when I set up my table with labels, I'm going to do a G for gallons, a QT for quarts. I'm going to go to my star chart. And on my star chart, I see that 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So I'm going to put a 1 next to G, a 4 next to the quarts. What I know from my question is that I'm looking for 96 quarts, so I'm going to put a 96 in the quarts. Now this one, I don't really know what the scale factor from 4 to 96 is off the top of my head, so I'm going to show you what it looks like when we go within. So to go from 4 to 1, I would have to do 4 divided by 4 to get 1. Whatever I do to the left, I also have to do on the right. So this would be 96 divided by 4. So 4 goes into 9 2 times, which would give me 8. I subtract and I get 1. Bring down the 6, and then 4 goes into 16 4 times. So there are 24 gallons and 96 quarts. Our next one says how many feet are in 12 yards. So my best friends here are feet and yards. So I'm going to set up my table with my labels. I know that my star chart tells me that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So that's 1 yard, 3 feet. And I'm looking for, what I know is that I have 12 yards. So I'm going to put a 12 down here at the bottom. My scale factor that I'm going to use, and again, there are 2, just pick whichever one you like, but I'm going to go from 1 to 12. So my scale factor would be times 12. What I do to the bottom, I also have to do to the top. So 3 times 12 would give me 36 feet. Our next one, how many fluid ounces are in 2 cups? So my 2 best friends here are fluid ounces and cups. So fluid ounces, cups. Going to my star chart, I know that there are 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. So 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. I know from my problem that I'm looking for 2 cups. So again, 2 different scale factors. Pick which one you like the best. So I'm going to use between again, and I'm going to say that 1 times 2 gives me 2. So whatever scale factor I use on the bottom, I have to use on the top. And 8 times 2 would give me 16 fluid ounces. Our next one says how many pounds are in 48 ounces? My best friends here are pounds and ounces. So LBS for pounds, OZ for ounces. My star chart says that 1 pound contains 16 ounces. So 1 pound, 16 ounces. What I know from my problem is I need 48 ounces. Now, my scale factor that I see here this time would be within, and that would be divided by 16. So what I do to the left, I have to do to the right. And 48 divided by 16 gives me 3 pounds. Our next one says the Empire State Building is about 1,254 feet tall. What is this height in yards? So my best friends I'm comparing here are feet and yards. So let's set up our table with our labels. So feet, yards. This is now the 3rd time we've done a feet to yard. So I know my star chart is going to tell me that I've got 3 feet and 1 yard. What I know from my problem is I'm dealing with 1,254 feet. So my scale factor I see this time is to go within. So 3 divided by 3 is going to give me 1. So what I do on the left, I have to do on the right. I'm going to come down here and solve this because I don't know this off the top of my head, which is okay. So here we go. 3 can't go into 1, but 3 can go into 12, a total of 4 times. 3 times 4 gives me 12, and when I subtract, I get 0. Bring down the 5. 3 goes into 5 1 time. 1 times 3 gives me 3. When I subtract, I get 2. Bring down the 4. 3 goes into 24 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24. When I subtract, I get 0. So this is going to be 418 yards. Our next one says a bag of candy weighs 4 ounces. What is this weight in pounds? My best friends that I'm comparing here are ounces and pounds. So I have OZ for ounces, LBS for pounds. So this is going to be 4. Oh, no, I did that wrong. Oh, my goodness gracious. Sorry, I need to go look at my star chart. My star chart says that 1 pound is going to give me 16 ounces. So that's going to be 1 pound, 16 ounces. And then I know from my problem that I'm dealing with 4 ounces. So I see a scale factor between. I know that 16 divided by 4 will give me 4. So whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So 1 divided by 4 would look like this as a fraction. So that would be 1/4 or 25 hundredths. Either works because I don't specify if I want it as a fraction or a decimal. So I'm just going to write it as a fraction, that I would have 1/4 pounds. And our next one says the average weight of the African bush elephant is 13,000 pounds. What is this weight in tons? The best friends that I'm comparing here are pounds and tons. So let's set up our table. LBS for pounds, capital T for tons. On my star chart, it says that 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. So 2,000 pounds for 1 ton. What I know from my problem is I'm dealing with 13,000 pounds. And I don't know how many tons. So I see my scale factor would be divided by 2,000. What do I do on the left? I have to do on the right. And I know that this problem really just looks like 130 divided by 2, which would give me 65 or 6 point, oh, excuse me, that's 2,000, sorry. So this would be 13 divided by 2. So that would give me 6.5 or 6 5/10 tons.